All right. Yeah, it's another friendly between our finalists, Kupermeister and Tahn. And Tahn must be pretty keen on sneaking a win in here. So let's see what happens here. We've got Tahn as our Zerg player in the top right. We've got Kupermeister, this time Protoss for the full trio, if you like, up in the top left. The map that we're on here is bonkers. This is what's it called? Stargazers, I think. Is it Stargazers? Or yeah, I think it's Stargazers. And it's madness because look, we're in these sort of top left and top right corners, and the structure of this map. You can mine out these minerals. You can mine out these minerals to have a base here. You can mine out these minerals, and look, there's your opponent there. That's how far it is. You know what I mean? You can almost get them. Look, in fact, look, you can get both of those bases on the same screen. That's how close together those are. So yeah, it can get hairy. But in between, before these are mined out, to get across in between, you've got like these bridges, which are just horrific and an absolute festival of like corrosive balls and anything else, and arcs and carnage. You've got this watchtower here that it's important to control because you're going to see any drops coming across between these two locations. This is such a short distance by air. Tahn needs to find out what his opponent is, because you have to know if it's Terran. You have to know. And if you're the Protoss player over here, like, there is absolutely no shame in building your Stargate here, because just look how little distance that Oracle's got to cover to get into your opponent's base and start putting some hurt on them. So yeah, knowing what's what on this map is crucial. Now, the Overlord positioning, it's pretty common to send a Lord down to check you're not getting cannon rushed or stuff, but my default positioning on this map is either here or here, because this is elevated high ground, so units passing through this bottom bit don't see the Overlord, but it sees them. Generally useful to have an Overlord in this dead space here, so that you can see anything coming by air. Never a bad plan to have a Ling on the watchtower, but that can always be contested. So double gas opener, which is kind of what you'd expect really as the Protoss player. Tahn is going to come in here and see what's what. So the key thing is, when you see that the cybernetics core isn't finished yet, you know that your Overlord is absolutely safe as houses, because there can't be anything that shoots up from the Protoss before the Cyb core. So the Cyb core finishes up, the soonest the Protoss can actually like shoot you is to get a Stalker out of that Cyb core, which you know is going to take a while. So I'd have been tempted to just plow on with the Overlord and just send it for a nice old look around in here, and then move it to the safe space over here, because nothing's coming to shoot it. Now obviously there is going to be a Stalker out before too long, and it is going to chase this away. The Lings are going to come up, not going to be able to get anything done. This Zealot is going to plug the gap here, but they can be pretty annoying. They can start putting a bit of hurt onto this Cyb core, and start working away at it. Now that the Stalker's out, is going to make things trickier. This isn't enough Lings, I don't think, to kill this, but you know, given that he's already put a bit of damage on that, for me, there would be a temptation to just crank out another 6 Lings and send them on in here, and see if you can get a snipe on that. The alternative path you could go by is Roach Warren, and you know that this is already, although actually it didn't really take very much damage at all, did it? Only 40. I was going to say this is obviously a much quicker thing to corrosive bile down if you've taken some shield and put some damage on it already. But no sign of a Roach Warren from Tahn on this occasion. Roach is not a terrible choice against Protoss, but I just, this map for air is just insane. Just imagine how long it takes mutas to get from like here to here, roughly 0. They're already there, aren't they? Tahn taking no chances this time with the wall. This time, of course, you're not playing against Zerg, so the wall, I don't generally, as a Zerg, I only really wall like this against another Zerg player. Arguably the same goes for other races as well. Absolutely love the Observer. Look at this guy, he's just going to come wandering in, and see everything. And I don't think Tahn has any detection here whatsoever. And at the 4-minute 40 mark against a Protoss, I find that risky. So in general, against a Protoss, a fast Oracle will get into your mineral line at about the 3.5-minute mark. And fast DTs will get into your mineral line about the 4-minute 20 mark. So, you know, my top tip would be at around 3:10 is when you want to drop the spore in your mineral line. And that way, if the Oracle shows up, you've got it covered. If the Phoenix Oracle comes in, lifts the Queen, the spore has got it covered. And then it's already there in the event of DTs. Now, obviously, the better play still is to scout and to know whether you need it or not. But a safety spore at the level we're talking about is arguably, you know, drop the spore, don't worry too much about it. If you're playing at a very high level, obviously a spore costs you a worker. That's one less worker that's mining. It costs you money to build. Why spend that if you don't have to? But, you know, at EMS level, I'm a strong proponent of just safety spore. Why wouldn't you build a spore against a Protoss? Especially given, you know, we've already seen in the EMS tournament how much Protoss love their invisible men. Now, with that said, there is no sign of invisible men here. At least I haven't seen. Kupermeister is not planning on invisible men by the looks of things. This Twilight Council has been here for a long time, and there's no Dark Shrine in production or anything like that. So what there is likely to be, I feel soon, is a large number of charge lots in Tahn's base, because the Warp Prism is about to come out, and look how much space there is to just tip stuff out. Warp Prism can just open up here. Kup can warp in sort of 5 charge lots into this area, and they can just run up this map uncontested. I am concerned that Tahn has not spread these overlords at all. Why aren't there overlords over here to see this? Why isn't there creep over here to see this? Even better still, getting that creep spread across inside your own base, and then at least you know that that's coming. I'm surprised about this location for the Warp Prism, just using this as reinforcements. Army wise, to know, Tahn, what you've got a lot of money and not very much army, and I just, you know, here we are at 7 minutes and the army supply is only like 24. It's just not enough. You know, the only time that little army supply is acceptable at 7 minutes is with comprehensive scouting. If you are, you know, frequently in your opponent's base scouting, then by all means don't build any units. But if you're not going to scout, you've got to be ready for anything that's coming. So Tahn doing well at macroing up, but, you know, a little bit of lack of practice showing here. There wasn't really scouting to be had. Look, here's Tahn's vision. He hasn't been inside this area at all. So, you know, Tahn, don't be shy about getting overlord speed. Crank out overlord speed nice and early. You know, turn these into overseers and just fly them in and out of your opponent's base on a regular basis. Once you've got overlord speed, you know, those overseers can't be stopped. They're too quick. Unless your opponent's got Phoenix or something like that. And if they have got Phoenix, well, you're going to find out about it, aren't you, when they kill your overseer. So, yeah, you just can't go around knowing nothing about what your opponent's got and also not have any units. It's okay to know nothing about what your opponent's got if you're sitting on 100 supply army at home. That's fine. You know, if I've got all the roaches in the world, I don't really need to know so much about whether or not he's going to come and attack me, because I'm ready when he does come. I've got the Ravagers, I'm ready to corrosive bile stuff down, I'm ready for whatever comes. But you can't just macro up building nothing but workers and also not know what's inside your opponent's base. That isn't going to cut the mustard. Anyway, GG.